time to accept yourself. Let's talk about it. Me and my friend Charlie here. Hello. Charlie's the cat here at my lovely mansion here. It's a beautiful fall day. Thought I'd bring you back outside to enjoy the weather while we still can and dive into this topic of self-acceptance as well as resisting self-acceptance. Be kind to yourself. If you've been feeling like you're both not enough and too much at the same time, underneath it all, it's about self-acceptance, and that's the key for you moving forward in life and business. By the way, I'm Sensei Victoria Whitfield. Sensei means teacher in Japanese. It's because I am a Reiki master teacher. So that's my title. And I am a Reiki master and a meditation teacher. And because I started out doing Reiki and meditation for myself, managing my own stresses, my own anxieties, part of that learning process and learning curve for me was having to go out and share that with others, practice the Reiki on others, right? Practice meditating and leading meditations with others. And so as I would do that, what's amazing about the universe is the law of attraction. And so Source started attracting more and more professionals to me who wanted to try out Reiki or try out meditation. That still happens to this day, by the way. And so the more that I would practice Reiki and meditation with the entrepreneurs, the business owners, the leaders, right? The teachers, the mentors, these people in leadership positions that God kept bringing into my life as I was practicing, I have to get my practice in, right, as a Reiki master and a meditation teacher. The more I started learning about how important how we feel is to determining how we behave, meaning how we feel emotionally, mentally, emotionally governs the actions that we take and how consistent we can be. Times that by now, it'll be 16 years next month doing this work full time, specifically only for entrepreneurs, business owners, purpose-driven professionals. And the work has evolved, not just from the Reiki and the meditation at the core, but it's expanded out into performance coaching, as in managing your energy so that you can perform at your highest levels. And so I just wanted to reground us into that and share that over the years so many things have changed for me. I didn't start off having a space like this, right? I didn't start off that way. I actually started off in the closet, literally. Shout out to my LGBT community. Like a physical closet in a metaphysical book and gift shop with the door removed, and they shoved a chair and like half of a card table in there, and that's where they would do like their Reiki and card readings, like a super tiny spot, like super small. That's where it all started. That's where I started sharing and volunteering at first, sharing Reiki and meditation. And then y'all, some of you have been here this long, been with me on the journey this long. Y'all started being like, well, can I at least pay you something or help you out? Can I pay for your parking? And I'm like, no. But y'all kept asking to support the process. At the time I worked for others, right? And so for me, it wasn't about the money. It was about the work and the impact. How powerful meditation and Reiki can be for lifting the weight of stress and anxiety off of at first me, but then doing it for others, seeing that liberate other people as well, opening their minds. Why am I telling you my backstory? Because for me personally, my story is your story. For me personally, the more that I came to understand my story, the more I came to accept myself. If you don't know your story, you will not accept yourself. Who am I speaking to? By the way, go ahead and type it in the comments below. If you can't tell your own story of where did I come from, why am I doing what I'm doing now, right? I came to Reiki initially because of a heartbreak, and it was recommended to me by my own mother. But I didn't even know what Reiki was. I mean, you see all the leaves on the ground. I thought it was like raking. What? Okay, I'm going to do yard work. No, it's R-E-I-K-I. Be kind to yourself. Why are you doing what you're doing? Do you have your story of why you do what you do? Whether you work for yourself or for others. Why are you in this field? Why are you in this relationship? You know, Simon Sinek, who gives great hugs, by the way, he says our why comes often from our pain, right? And so for me, it was the pain of heartbreak. And as I started going through that after a really bad breakup, I started diving more into myself and seeing how I kept putting myself last. And I wanted to explore, is there another way to be outside of putting myself last, and thinking that I don't matter? And then as I delved deeper into that, I saw that there was an intergenerational curse in my family of doing that, of working ourselves into the hospital or to death. Many of you may have heard, if you're watching this video, of my story of working myself into the hospital where I didn't ask for help, and I really know I should have. Like, all of the signs were there. Trying to open an antique window, but it snapped and fell on my hands, right? Down to the bone, right? Here's my right thumb. This is my left thumb. You can tell my left thumb, I can't put at a 45-degree angle, a 90-degree angle. This, I'm pressing down as hard as I can. My left thumb, this one, maintains the contusion so that I'll never forget that day that I worked myself into the hospital because I didn't ask for help. Because I wanted to be as productive, as useful, as helpful, as independent as possible. And that killed my grandpa. My paternal grandfather dropped dead at work at 52 years old, leaving his 3 girls orphaned, my mom and her 2 sisters, of a massive heart attack at work. He stressed himself out, wouldn't accept any help, died at work from it. Both my parents have high blood pressure, and they have passed out, blacked out at work due to the stress, trying to make sure that they're doing everything on their own. And sure enough, I myself had the same experience, working myself into the hospital, trying to be as effective, that perfectionist, competitive. For me, this is my why I meditate, why I do Reiki. It's not just because it's nice. For me, it's a matter of literally life and death. Do I want to have longevity enough to make it home, to enjoy my family, and my people and my life? Do I want to make it home at the end of the day or not? We're not just exchanging our hours for dollars, our life for capital when we go to work. Is this resonating? I don't know who this message is for, but Holy Spirit told me to share that a lack of self-acceptance is not natural. It could kill you. In the instance of my grandfather. And it is also learned. So I can't do that. This is, by the way, this conversation of, oh, I can't do that, which is a lack of self-acceptance, rejecting ourselves, our fundamental needs. Oh, I have needs as an individual. No, I don't. I gotta wake up at 3 a.m. to send that email. Or no, I gotta make sure they are taken care of. I'll sleep when I'm dead. Does this sound familiar? Right? Our lack of self-acceptance is killing us, and also killing our progress. But today in particular, we want to look at this lack of self-acceptance, this people-pleasing, in other words, as an infection that we caught when we were young. There's ways that we can learn to put ourselves last, especially when it comes to the education system. Prioritizing the grade, prioritizing the affirmation coming from others, right? We learn to people please to survive and thrive as young people. And as we get older, if we don't continue to progress in our self-actualization process, we can get lost in a doom loop of self-sabotage instead of self-mastery, self-expansion, self-actualization. When you're self-employed, how you feel matters. Because in the immortal words of James Brown, if you don't work, you don't eat when it comes to being self-employed. If you don't work, you don't eat. And so what we're really dealing with here is starvation. Physical starvation of do I have enough food in the house? But also soul starvation. Am I serving my purpose? And so this is the first of 4 episodes. We're going to really be diving deep into the self-acceptance and rebuilding that, creating a state of personal power. And this is inspired by my chapter-by-chapter study of Outwitting the Devil, The Secrets to Freedom and Success, which is the sequel to Napoleon Hill's classic Think and Grow Rich. Right. We're on chapter 8 for this 4-part discussion. That my extrapolation from chapter 8 is this is really about the journey of self-acceptance. But chapter 8 in the book is on definiteness of purpose. And so I'm going to read to you. So remember, this book, and forgive me, I have a little bit of a cold, but I love being outside. Oh well. This book is about a conversation within Napoleon Hill between the angel and the devil on his shoulder. He especially is taking this book to speak to that inner self-saboteur on his shoulder. And because of that, this book is really great for encouraging those of us who tend to get in our own way. We have big goals and desires. We want to help and serve, right? But there are patterns in us that stop us from getting out and seeing that more good happens in the world because we made that impact. What contributes to that and how to get out of that. And this is, again, chapter 8, Definiteness of Purpose. So Napoleon Hill asks the devil on his shoulder, am I to understand from your remarks that you, the devil, have to gain control of people while they are very young, or lose your opportunity at them altogether? The devil on his shoulder responds, I prefer to claim them before they come into possession of their own minds. Once any person learns the power of his own thoughts, he becomes positive and difficult to subdue. As a matter of fact, I cannot control any human being who discovers and uses the principle of definiteness. So Napoleon Hill asks, is the habit of definiteness a permanent protection against your control? The devil on his shoulder responds, no, not by any means. Definiteness closes the door of one's mind to me only as long as that person follows the principle as a matter of policy. Once any person hesitates, procrastinates, or becomes indefinite about anything, he's just one step removed from my control. And I also want to read the editor's note here. She says, the metaphysical and spiritual aspects of the author's philosophy are on display in these responses by the devil. What he calls definiteness is today often called intention, or being goal-driven or purpose-driven. So Napoleon Hill goes on to ask the devil on his shoulder, what has definiteness or intention, as the editor notes, what does definiteness to do with one's material circumstances? I want to know if one may acquire power through definiteness of purpose without inviting destruction through the law of compensation, right, money? The devil on his shoulder responds, your question limits my illustrations because there are so few people in the world who understand, and there have been so few people in the past who understood how to use definiteness of purpose or being intentional without attracting to themselves the negative application of the law of compensation. Here you're forcing me, the devil says, to disclose one of my most prized tricks. I'm bound to tell you, that I eventually reclaim for my cause all who escape me temporarily through definiteness of purpose. The reclamation is made by filling the mind with greed. Greed for power and the love of egotistical expression, until the individual falls into the habit of violating the rights of others. Then I step in with the law of compensation and reclaim my victim. Right? So, tying this back to self-acceptance, we're looking at this here, this passage, Napoleon Hill, and in his internal simulated dialogue, highlights the importance of being definite as a way to escape our inner saboteur, right? The devil on his shoulder. He says, once any person learns the power of his own thoughts, he becomes positive and difficult to subdue, right? The negativity, the evil in ourselves or even in the environment can't take a hold on us when we know what we're doing and why. Accepting yourself is the first step. Accepting your story, writing your story of who you are and why you are doing what you do, why you're living the type of life that you're living. That is the first concrete step for making yourself difficult to subdue. If you're watching this right now, you may feel like something or someone is trying to restrict your freedom or control you. Maybe it's the media, maybe it's your family, maybe it's your accountant, the tax collectors, maybe it's your community or your party, maybe it's your ancestors or your kids. But if you're watching this, I want you to think of, in your life, who are you fighting for freedom with? Who's trying to restrict your freedom? It could even be the ghost of past criticisms that others have said that stuck with you. Especially since here he notes, I prefer to claim young people, right? Before people come into possession of their own minds. Start them young, is what the devil on Napoleon Hill's shoulder says. So who got into your head and told you you're not allowed to live life on your terms? You're not allowed in business to charge that much money. You're not allowed to be the color that you are. You're not allowed to live without shame and guilt. No, you should be ashamed of yourself for insert reason. Like, who told you that? Whether they're here in physical, right, 3D reality, or they're in the 4D, the 5D, 4D being time, 5D being memory and causation. It could be the ghost of people's words haunting you. That's stopping you from accepting yourself. But the key, the first step in the right direction of beginning to accept yourself is claiming that story, rewriting it as your own of, okay, here's the story of why I am a mother. Here's a story of why I am not a mother. Here's the story of why I'm in the business that I am. Here's the story of why I work at this job that I have. Here's my story for me, in my own words, rather than in their words, right? And he goes on when he was talking about material circumstances of like, okay, I'm going to be intentional, but like, what about acquiring more power? Does power always make people negative? Not necessarily, right? And it could be that we're trying to acquire more power and freedom to show it to the person who stole it from us or who's haunting us in our mind. Be kind to yourself. If that's the situation, is that really you, or is that them motivating you? When you're writing your story of self-actualization, I have a belief. When you're rewriting your own story of who you are and reclaiming yourself, notice, is it coming from you, or is it coming just as a rebellion to them? So it's really coming from them, is what that passage highlights. So I want to bring this forward. You can be positive and difficult. You are allowed. I give permission slip signed and granted. You have permission to be positive. You have permission to be yourself. And when others aren't you, you're allowed to be difficult. You can oppose others' views. You can have your own point of view. Permission granted. To any recovering people pleaser watching this right now, you have permission to really be you. And to any imposter syndrome sufferers watching, oh, you have permission to really be who you are and who you say you are, regardless of what you think they will think or they will say. You're allowed. Go for it. And if anyone does mess with you, go ahead and be difficult, because guess what? You don't have to carry the discomfort for the universe. Oh, I make sure everyone else feels good. Everyone's all right. Everyone else feels comfortable. People pleaser, right? That traumatized mindset. No, you don't have to be the only inconvenienced person in the history of time. The winds of change are blowing. You're in a new era. At the filming of this video, it's Mercury retrograde. So that means things are going to feel like they're falling apart, but they're actually falling together. Things are going to look like they're breaking down, but they're actually breaking through. You are breaking through to a whole new version of you. And it starts with self-acceptance. The card of the day is the Queen of Fire as an affirmation, right side up. It says, this is you. You are confident, warm, intelligent, and graceful. Yes, you are. Stretch your wings and fly. Yes, you can. Don't underestimate yourself. Don't you do it. Assert your independence and creativity. You're allowed to. I'm going to keep reading. Situation. Now is the time to stretch your wings and really fly. You've been underestimating yourself and your abilities. Believe in all that you can do and accomplish. You'll naturally attract other people to assist you. Assert your independence and creativity. Personality, you're a person with a magnetic personality who is good-natured and loves life. Someone with great self-confidence who is astonishingly well-rounded in terms of talents and skills. You are attractive. You are warm and intelligent. You are graceful and capable. You are active and convincing, and you are difficult to throw off guard. Queen is all about the feel. Fire is about action and embodiment. It's movement. Feel into your confidence. Embody yourself with a capital S. And not just the positive parts of yourself, but also the shortcomings, right? I'm an emotional eater. That's just part of me. That's just part of me. Yeah. I have a hard time talking on the fly when I'm put on the spot. I'm not good with being put on the spot. I'm not a confrontational person. Some of my shortcomings. Yeah. I procrastinate. I do. It's another one of my shortcomings. I love and approve of myself. Shout out to Louise Hay, right? I accept and approve of myself. I love and approve of myself. It's a choice. I say that not because I'm bragging. I'm saying that to consciously choose, conspicuously choose to love and approve of myself, even though I have flaws, even though I have scars, like a circle-shaped scar on my left side, even though I have a piece of my scalp is burnt. Right? There's flaws, even though my body is not symmetrical, right? I choose to love and approve of myself. Otra vez. I choose to love and approve of myself. Flaws and all. Uno más. I choose to love and approve of myself. Right? Self-acceptance. So we could talk about self-acceptance, and we're going to keep talking about this. Is one of 4 episodes. So stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube as well as to the email list. The email list is where I give more of my written commentary and go even deeper on the topic where I don't do it anywhere else. So we could talk about this, but it's time for you to embody it. So hop on to our app at bevisionarymovement.com. That's B-E, the word visionary, and movement, all one, .com. So that you can do the strategic meditation of the day. I teach strategic meditation because over the years of sharing Reiki and meditation with professionals, I noticed that when they came for their session, they had the energy, the lightness, the emotional freedom to go out there and crush it and to make more good happen, to have a positive impact because they felt lighter. So when you feel better, you do better. And seeing that happen over and over and over again, I realized, okay, these people aren't just meditating. They're not just doing Reiki, they're doing it strategically. And when they apply this practice, they get better results than people who don't. And so that's why I created strategic meditation. The meditation tracker that we're working off of is of November 2025. And the meditation of the day is Your New Life Journey Drum. You're going to type that into the search bar at the top of the screen when you log into bevisionarymovement.com. And you're going to search through our vault of visualizations. It's an 11-minute journey. It's a Your New Life Journey Drum, right? So this is a guided drum-based strategic meditation. And so when you do this, 11 minutes, you're going to fully embody exploring self-acceptance, because this is your new life. There was the previous era where you didn't accept yourself. You were maybe even taught as a child, right, as we learned from Napoleon Hill, to not accept yourself. This is your new life. Do that strategic meditation. Comment below if you did it. Tell me what came up for you. What did you see, notice, and receive? And also, if you're just watching this, you didn't get to do the meditation, comment below. Are you ready to explore self-acceptance? What comes up for you hearing all that? I want to hear it. And if you want to work together, dive into a private session, Reiki and meditation, as well as holistic high-performance support, go ahead and email team@victoriawhitfield.com or text 732-903-8573. Happy to respond. That goes straight to me, by the way. It's my office line, right? So go ahead, text me. Let's set up a private session, whether you're coming here in person or I'll see you on Zoom or over the phone. Big hugs and love. Mwah. Remember, you do not have to lose your glow as you grow in life and business. See you next time. Bye for now.